Hello world, this is Carole from Viva Vacations, and for this podcast we have a very special guest with us. I'm joined today by Neil Dudley, Business Development Manager for AmaWaterways, who's going to be sharing information on what to expect with river cruising and specifically what AmaWaterways has to offer. So thank you, Neil, for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me today.
No worries. Thanks for having me, Carole.
So since most of our listeners probably don't know you, Neil, perhaps we can start by telling them a little bit about you, specifically what your experience is with river cruising and what your role is at AmaWaterways.
Sure. It seems like my entire life has been built around river cruising. So I will be celebrating 5 years with AmaWaterways as of October. But I was with a previous river cruise line for 13 years before that. So I've basically been doing river cruising for about 15 years. So I'm very excited about this form of travel. I think it's the best way to see Europe. So I'm thrilled to still be doing this as well. So
wonderful. And what about your role at AMA specifically?
So with AmaWaterways, of course, the reason why your listeners probably don't know who I am is because AmaWaterways works exclusively with our travel advisor partners such as yourself. So I actually take care of just a small area, 5.5 provinces, all of Atlantic Canada, Quebec, and Southern Ontario. So I'm basically there to work with travel advisors such as yourself to make sure you're up to date on our products and make sure that you have all the best tools to be able to provide the best river cruise experience to your listeners such as the ones today. So
perfect. So I'm going to start with a rather basic question. We have a lot of clients who have done a lot of ocean cruises, and I get asked a lot, what do you feel is the main difference between an ocean and a river cruise?
Sure. Well, that's my background as well. I worked on board ocean ships for 6 years, so I am definitely the one who's come from ocean over to river. And obviously, the main one, of course, is the size. Yes, we are a cruising experience, but we are very different to our ocean cruising cousins in the sense that you are always within sight of land. It's a different port of call each and every day, generally arriving on breakfast, staying right through till dinner, late nights and overnights in a number of ports of call. And of course, it's a much more intimate cruising environment. With AmaWaterways, there's an average of 155 guests on board our ships, and of course, probably even our biggest ship, which is the Ama Magna, could still fit inside the lobby of one of those large ocean liners. So very different. We are a beautiful cruising experience, but yes, still very intimate and, bringing you the heart of the river in every city and town that we come to. So
yeah, one of the things I've heard is that on a river cruise, there's no waiting in line simply like you would on an ocean cruise. I know a lot of people like that fact.
Yeah, I mean, you are docking in the hearts of these cities and towns. You simply walk off the ship and you're there. You start your tours. There's no tendering. There's no, taking coaches into city centers and stuff. We really do bring you to the hearts of these beautiful cities and towns because Europe was built around the rivers back in, days past. That's how they survived. And this is what we're able to bring guests on a river cruise experience. So
wonderful. So obviously there's a lot of river cruise lines out there. Can you talk to us about what makes AMA unique?
Yeah, sure thing. So in this regard, river cruising is no different than ocean cruising. So basically you do have different star levels, and it's based on the size of your ship, how many people are on board, and what is included. So with AmaWaterways, we are a boutique luxury 5-star experience. So basically almost everything is included. We only have about 155 guests on board. We have multiple restaurants and all of the shore excursions are included. But much like an ocean ship experience, in the larger cities and towns, we actually give clients a choice of different activities. They decide what it is they want to do each and every day, and that is all part of their package. And these could be relaxed paced, up to more active guided cycling, walking tours, could be guided hiking experiences, all sorts of different things. Whatever that area is known for, we bring it to our guests as tours, and they decide what it is they would like to see and do. So it really is about customizing their river cruise experience, but without having to pay anything extra when they're on board, much like they would obviously on an ocean ship experience. I always make the joke saying, when I do presentations, I ask people in the room how many people have been on an ocean cruise. And I say, how many of you came off with a zero charge on your shipboard charge card at the end? And absolutely nobody raises their hand, yet going on an AmaWaterways river cruise experience, almost everybody can say that because with us, pretty much everything is included. So.
Yeah, and once you've done a few ocean cruises, you understand the benefit of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about the destinations? Where do you go?
So our main destination, of course, is Europe. That's where 21 of our 25 ships are, but we do have some beautiful exotic locales outside of continental Europe as well. So when we put the Europe program together, we always like to say that, yes, we know river cruising, if people have never done it and they've ocean cruised before, they sometimes look going, oh, it's a much higher sticker value than I'm used to with my ocean cruise. But I always say, if they were to ask a valued travel advisor such as yourself, Carole, to say, listen, I want to go over to Europe, but nobody ever wants to go to one spot. They want to go to multiple places. If you were to price at a hotel, the meals, the transportation, all of the tours, river cruising actually is a great value for money when you consider the destination. Now, over in Europe, we cover all the main rivers of Europe, the Main, the Rhine, the Danube, the Mosel rivers, all the rivers in France, the Douro in Portugal. And then we've got ships outside of continental Europe. We were the very first river cruise line to have a ship down in the Mekong River in Southeast Asia. Truly an incredible destination because things you can only see from the rivers, floating villages, floating markets, floating schools. Then our next exotic locale was over on the Chobe River in South Central Africa, so a wildlife river cruise experience. Then we went to the Nile in 2021, and we're excited. We're going to be the very first river cruise line again to have our own ship on the Magdalena River in Colombia in South America coming out in the fall of next year. So always leading the way in river cruising because that is the only thing we do. We are the only river cruise line whose sole focus is river cruising. We don't have an ocean cruising division. We don't have a coast touring division. Our focus is to bring guests the best luxury river cruise experience, no matter where in the world we are cruising. So,
amazing. On that, one of the things that I find that appeals to me personally is when the river cruise leaves from one city and ends up in another city, and it gives you the opportunity to visit and spend time in both those cities before and after, making the trip that much more enjoyable.
Yeah, because you're obviously stopping in some smaller, very historical villages. They might not be that big. They might not take that long to see. Melken-Dürnstein on the Danube is always a perfect example. We will arrive in Dürnstein, which is this beautiful little village, known for its apricot production, and Richard the Lionheart's castle that's there as well. Doesn't take very long to see, so we're there for the morning. We do the tours, guests get a chance to wander around, and then not far down the river is Melk, where it's the oldest Benedictine abbey in Europe. So guests get to go see this in the afternoon, so it's a bit of a split tour, but we can give guests an option as to how they get to Melk. Because it's only 32 kilometers, it doesn't take us very long, so yes, you can come back on board the ship, or you can take a guided cycling tour and go from Dürnstein down to Melk and meet the ship in your next port of call. So there's all sorts of great options, and that's incorporated into almost all of our river cruises over in Europe as well. So.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned that because what I've been seeing, you offer a lot of different types of cruises. So I've seen wine cruises, Christmas markets, bike tours. There's really something for everyone, and it's typically there's a wide range of clientele as far as the age range goes. So it's nice that you can, if you're an active traveler, that you have those choices.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of times the myths around river cruising, and honestly, before I did my first one, I was included in that. I just assumed it was geared at seniors and that it was a slower paced kind of travel. And it couldn't be any more different with AmaWaterways. So we have guests in their, probably guests in their 30s, sometimes late 20s, all the way up to guests in their 80s and 90s, because we have all the different choices, much like an ocean cruise would, to allow guests to customize what they want to see and do. But with AmaWaterways, everything's included. So yes, as you mentioned, you've got those active-based guests who want to do guided cycling and guided hiking tours. You've got your more traditional cruisers who really want that relaxed pace tour, either on coach or walking tours. And again, guests can decide what it is they want to do. But with AmaWaterways, we try to put no more than 15 to 20 guests per tour guide to ensure no matter which tour group you're in, you're getting that first-class touring experience when you are wandering around. And as you mentioned, yes, we invented the Celebration of Wine cruise experience. Very popular. We started these in 2009 with 2 wine cruises. Next year, we're operating over 75 different wine cruises. So that was a great, great experience. We can do multi-generational travel. So guests with kids, guests who are wanting to travel. We've got interconnecting rooms and triple and quads. Now, we always try to discern if the kids are younger and they're looking for more tours that are geared towards kids, we partner up with Adventures by Disney. So that is where you would send those. But if these are kids in their teens who are going to appreciate our tours, then they can come on board ours. And it's the same for those cycling guests that you may have, Carole, as well. They're avid cyclists. Come on board. We've always got guided cycling tours. But if they are serious cyclists, we've partnered with Backroads who do cycling tours on our cruises. So you're right. There is all sorts of cruises, no matter what your interest is. We honestly, we're always bringing out that kind of experience over with AmaWaterways. So
yeah, and that's what I love about it. So a few questions that I get often as well. So we've talked about what happens during the day and all the options that there is. What's a typical evening like on board?
Yeah, so again, this is probably buckling those myths again where people think, okay, dinner's done and the lights are off on a river cruise and everyone goes to bed. Could not be further from the truth. Now, if you want to, certainly welcome to, but every evening when we are cruising, we have locally themed entertainment happening because we really want to bring that cultural experience on shore, on board for the guests to enjoy. So could be a local music group from the area that the area is known for. Could be a glass blowing demonstration. It could be a wine tasting experience. Really, whatever the area is known for. And after they're done, we've got an onboard musician who plays music into the later hours as well. So there's always things going on. And on all of our ships, we've got multiple lounges. So you've got the main lounge, but we've even got more of a library lounge. So if guests don't want to watch the entertainment, they can go in there for a bit more of a quieter area to relax and enjoy. But again, it really is that typical boutique ocean ship experience on board where guests can decide what it is they would like to do in the evenings after dinner and truly enjoy it with AmaWaterways. So.
Okay. And another question I get, if they've done ocean cruises and they're looking to get a comparison on the cabin, are they similar in size or?
So for us, because we carry fewer guests, we carry 155 guests. Now, river cruise ships are the same length and the same width. You have low bridges and locks to go through. So this is really a big differentiating factor. Is when a river cruise ship is carrying 180 to 190 guests, those are more of the 4-star brands. Obviously, the cabins are smaller because they're carrying more guests. So it is something to keep in mind. For us, our average size of cabins is much larger, anywhere from 205 up to 355 square feet. And on the Alma Magna, which is the world's largest, we have suites up to 700 square feet. So these really are your similar boutique ocean ship standard size. But you've got to remember, of course, you are in a different port of call every single day. So, they are very spacious, very modern cabins on board. Guests are very, very comfortable. And everybody either has a picture window stateroom, French balcony, or a twin balcony suite. There are no inside rooms whatsoever on a river cruise vessel. So again, very comparable in size, but again, I think a bit more spacious and comfortable to relax when you're on board, simply due to the style of the river cruise ships that we have. So.
Yeah, and typically if you're taking advantage fully of everything that's included, you wouldn't be spending all that much time in your cabin. You'd be out enjoying the views.
No, it's true. Honestly, you're either there to sleep, or if we are doing some of the beautiful sightseeing during the day, this is where guests really take advantage of the outdoor balconies that we have, because they really like that, the option to sit out on the balconies, enjoy the beautiful views, listen to the cruise manager who is going to be doing the narration of the areas like the Rhine Gors, for instance, if we're going through that. So they really get to enjoy that in the comfort of their balcony. And honestly, you are so close to shore, it feels like you can reach out and see all of those beautiful sights. So the balconies are very popular, but yes, you're right. Essentially, the cabins are there for you to sleep and wake up in your next beautiful port of call. So.
Okay. My last question is surrounding the Christmas markets.
My favorite.
Yeah. What time of year typically are those ongoing?
So Christmas markets are something very traditionally European. Europe really does Christmas up unlike anywhere else in the world. These markets have been going on for centuries, actually, so it really is a unique European experience. Now, traditionally, they will start on the Friday before Advent Sunday. So typically, that could change year to year. It could be anywhere from the 25th of November up to the 1st of December. It's always that last week. So they'll always open on the Friday before Advent Sunday. So this year, for instance, is actually later. I think the 1st of December is when Advent Sunday is. So this year they open technically on the 29th of November. But some of the bigger cities like Vienna, Budapest, Salzburg, they know guests are coming over. They tend to open about the 15th or 20th of November. So some of the bigger cities will open a little bit earlier, but traditionally that's when they go, and they run right up till the 24th of December. So it's great. You've got a great selection. But again, some cities recognize that people are coming for Christmas and New Year's to get away. So some of the bigger cities, again, like Budapest and Vienna and Salzburg, they'll actually have what they call New Year's markets, which run from Christmas till New Year's. But that's not every city in town. But generally, about end of November to the end of December, you're going to get these beautiful Christmas markets to enjoy. And what I love is that you still get all the same great included tours during the day, and we always give guests time to go off and enjoy these beautiful markets in the afternoon and the evening when we're in all these ports of call. So,
yeah. And I would assume that we should be recommending to clients to be booking probably like next year for that, right? They do sell out quickly.
Yeah, generally with river cruising, we always say you need to book about 6 to 9 months in advance in order to get the date that you want, in order to get the cabin you want. And with river cruising, we always put our best offers out earliest. This is a bit different to an ocean cruising experience where sometimes you might see these last minute deals, and that's not the way river cruising, especially with AmaWaterways, traditionally works. Now, with the Christmas markets, these normally would have fallen in the same, but because of COVID, obviously, and everything was closed, Christmas markets, when all of the river cruising came back in 2022, Christmas markets actually didn't fully come back. They were a bit limited on the numbers and such. So a lot of those people have been delayed. So as a result, Christmas markets for 2023 are almost pretty much sold out. We've introduced a couple of new itineraries, which have Christmas markets, the lower Danube between Budapest and Bucharest, and also in France. So those are new itineraries. So there's still some space there, but the traditional ones on the upper Danube and Rhine are all sold out. And even for 2024, the Christmas markets are about 70% sold out for next year as well. So it's something that people have been waiting on. So yes, if you're interested, definitely get in touch with you very, very soon in order to book these, in order to make sure you get on, because very, very popular, something very traditionally European, but we're always trying to introduce more and more Christmas markets cruises each and every season. So like I said, we've got some new ones that came out this year, and they'll be out there for next year. So there's options, but yeah, you need to book earlier rather than later.
Yep. It's definitely on my bucket list.
Yeah, so. My favorite to do. I love, love, love it. So.
Well, the information you've shared today has been extremely informative, Neil. I want to thank you for spending this time with us.
Happy to.
And for the listeners out there, if you've been wanting to do a river cruise for a while, or if Neil has just convinced you that river cruising is for you, please reach out to your Viva travel advisor to discuss all the options, dates, prices. And as a bonus, on all new bookings from now until December 25th, we will be offering a $300 onboard credit as well as prepaid gratuities. So that's a wrap for today. Until next time, Viva Vacation!